Tonight, Ukraine's president addressing the people of his country just a short time ago, warning that Russian troops are moving in on the capital, closing in on Kyiv, saying they could storm the capital tonight. And this evening, the breaking headline from the White House, the U.S. and its European allies now planning to sanction Vladimir Putin directly. Explosions breaking the silence after dark in Kyiv, and tonight it's believed the Russians are already within city limits in the northern part of the capital. And to the north of Kyiv tonight, these images, a government building on fire. And still, Russian tanks and military vehicles moving in all directions, these tanks moving toward the city of Kherson in the south. And the troubling image in a Kyiv suburb, look at this, posted online showing an armored vehicle there swerving and then rolling right over that car with the driver inside. Remarkably, that driver was rescued. And tonight, that call for all men aged 18 to 60 to stay and fight back to save Ukraine. They are not being allowed to leave the country. Ukraine's defiant president posting a video with his top officials telling the world, quote, "We are here," and that Europe said never again, but here we are. Tonight, that news coming in, President Biden and NATO allies freezing Vladimir Putin's assets and those of his foreign minister as well. The NATO chief tonight saying Russia has shattered peace in Europe and we must do more, even if, quote, we have to pay a price. In Kyiv, they are bracing for a perilous night ahead. And we begin here with our senior foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, on the ground in Kyiv again tonight.
Tonight, as the battle for Ukraine intensifies, Russian troops now entering the capital. Moments ago, Ukrainian President Zelensky addressing his people in a defiant video from Kyiv, saying Russia will try to storm the capital tonight and that the night will be, quote, tough. Authorities have handed out 18,000 weapons to civilians to help in the fight, and residents were told to make Molotov cocktails. Men aged 18 to 60 called up to fight, not allowed to leave the country. Disturbing new video circulating on social media shows a military vehicle crushing a car. Explosions over Kyiv also posted online, showing just how perilous the situation is. At a Kyiv train station today, gunfire heard as crowds trying to flee the city forced their way onto trains.
Once again, air raid sirens are ringing out across the capital, Kyiv. Although there's been a lull in the fighting for the last couple of hours, the fears are that the Russians have been resupplying and are ready to mount a real attack inside the city.
We watched as troops ran through the streets, taking up positions to defend the city. Alexei Goncharenko may be a prominent lawmaker here, but today, he's one more citizen with a gun.
I don't want to fight. I'm not soldier. I'm not professional military man. But I am not ready to capitulate. That's the difference.
The city bearing the scars of war already. An apartment block hit by an unidentified aircraft. As firefighters arrived, Oksana cleaning up the rubble of her wrecked home. She was sleeping when the building was hit. Her daughter singing the national anthem. Through tears, saying simply, "Long live Ukraine." Intense battles are raging across the country tonight as Ukrainian fighters offer stiff resistance to the more powerful Russian forces. In southern Ukraine, around the city of Kherson, Russian fighter jets could be seen coming in low on their bombing runs. Also in the south, video posted on social media from Sumy showing fierce clashes. In Kyiv, the country's second largest city today, the Ukrainian army digging in to defend as missiles hit and Russian forces advance. And this incredible video of a driver swerving to avoid exploding rounds falling around the vehicle. Casualties are rising, among them 13 Ukrainian defenders on a Black Sea island. They refused to surrender to a Russian warship and reportedly responded with an expletive when the Russians told them to surrender. Tonight, Zelensky says they'll receive the honor of Ukraine. The NATO alliance is activating its rapid response force for the first time in a defensive role in Europe. Up to 40,000 troops will bolster allied countries close to Russia and Ukraine. And 7,000 American troops ordered to Europe yesterday could soon make up part of this NATO force Europe. But none of these troops will be helping Ukraine. As some flee the cities, others seek shelter in Kyiv's subways.
We have a little food and toys. and I hope one day, one night, but if so, we can stay there a long time.
And some are seeking safety in houses of worship. Rabbi Jonathan Markovich and his wife Ina have thrown open the doors of their synagogue. With US visas, they could have fled. But Ina made a promise to a 104-year-old Holocaust survivor.
Will you stay here with me? I fought the Nazis, and I don't know what's coming.
Oh, wow.
She's 104 years old.
So she's lived through the Nazis,
Yes.
and now she's afraid of the Russians.
And tonight, a long and bloody battle looks unavoidable.
And Ian Panel joins us live from Kyiv again tonight. Ian, we know the president of Ukraine issuing that grim warning just a short time ago that the Russians could very well try to storm the capital tonight. That other detail that you reported, men 18 to 60 not allowed to leave the country. Families told to take action to make Molotov cocktails to protect themselves. And tonight it would appear that in many parts of the country, the Russians are facing a stiffer resistance from Ukrainian fighters than they expected.
Yeah, I think that's very right. I mean, a senior official telling ABC News that the first 2 days have not gone as well as the Russians expected, though it is now believed that they could try to take Kiev for the final push tomorrow. Again, Zelensky thinking that it could happen tonight, and we have been hearing the distinct sound of battles taking place inside the city. Meanwhile, I think we're seeing early signs of potential talks between the Ukrainians and Russians, but it's likely not talking that's going to dominate the coming hours, but fighting. David?
Ian Panel leading us off again tonight. Ian, we thank you and the team. And of course, please stay safe. And the breaking development late today from the White House, President Biden is now planning to impose new sanctions on Vladimir Putin himself and on Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. So let's get right to our chief White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. She's live at the White House tonight. Cecilia, what have you learned?
Yeah, David, this information is just coming in right now. So we know that the president made this decision just within the last 24 hours, that he's doing this along with EU partners, really the show of force and being united against what the Kremlin is doing there in the UK. Press secretary telling me late this afternoon that this is meant to send a clear message about the strength of allies and their opposition to Russia right now. But David, I've got to tell you, the experts that we've talked to say this is largely a symbolic move to sanction Putin personally. It's going to include a travel ban, banning him from coming into the country. Clearly, that wasn't on the agenda anytime soon. As for his money, he's notoriously secretive about that. It's unclear how much he has. It's unclear where he keeps his assets. The White House says they still have more sanctions on the table. But, David, in the meantime, as we keep saying every single night, this crisis is just getting worse.
Cecilia Vega live at the White House with breaking developments. Cecilia, thank you.